Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss again one more topic of radiology, that is osteoradionecrosis. Now, what is osteoradionecrosis? Osteoradionecrosis is the radiation-induced damage to the bone, which may result to the bone death. So, it is due to the radiation-induced damage to the vascularity of the bone and will lead to the bone death. So, what happened in osteoradionecrosis? In osteoradionecrosis, there is a destruction of osteoblast and osteoclast, and the bone marrow affected, which leads to hypoxia, hypocellular, and hypovascularity of the bone. This leads to decrease in the mineralization of the bone, which leads to the brittleness. So the bone is more prone to the fracture, and it will increase in the bone infection. So because of this bone infection, because of this infection from dental extraction or dental trauma, or maybe because of some denture trauma, the bone is more susceptible to the infection. Now, osteoradionecrosis mostly occur in the mandible than in the maxilla. Why? Because the mandible, more cortical bone is there in the mandible, and there is a less vascularity in the mandible. Osteoradionecrosis mostly occur if the dose is more than 60 Gauss. So how can we avoid it? We can avoid radiotherapy for first 6 months, or if the extraction is there, then the extraction 2 to 3 weeks prior of radiation therapy should be done. So this is all about osteoradionecrosis. So this is the diagram of osteoradionecrosis. You can see this is the mandible, molar, so it mostly affects the mandible. You can see the vascularity of the bone is disturbed. Now the second topic is radiation caries. Radiation caries is an acute or the rampant form of the caries. It is because of the exposure of salivary gland. Now if the salivary gland is exposed, then it will lead to increase in the level of streptomutins, lactobacillus and candidiasis. So these are which leads to the caries. So what happened in this? In this, first the salivary flow is decreased. The pH of the saliva is decreased. The buffering capacity of the saliva is also decreased, but the viscosity of the saliva is increased. So what happened in clinical presentation? We can see it is a widespread caries. There is a superficial lesions which covers the entire crown. And you can see in the cervical region upper core lesion. Now what is upper core lesion? The upper core region is, if you take a bite of an apple, then how it looks. So this is the upper core lesion. Like if you take a bite of an apple, then how does it look? That's why it is called an apple core fashion. And you can see the entire crown is pigmented. So how can you avoid it? We can avoid by application of 1% of neutral sodium fluoride gel. So this is all about the radiation caries. Now we are going to read about E-speed film and collimation. Now in E-speed film, it reduces the risk factor by 2, while collimation reduces the risk factor by 5. In E-speed film, increase the speed due to the large tubular grains. The exposure time for E-speed film is just about 0.2 seconds. But in normal radiation, it is for 9 seconds. And the image sharpness is dull, is very poor in this E-speed film. While in collimation, here the reduced risk factor is by 5. So in this the collimation it will reduce the patient exposure. It will reduce the patient exposure, and image quality will be improved. Now how the image quality will improve in collimation? Collimation will restrict the beam. It will restrict the area of the beam. So all the scattered radiation is stopped, and only high energy of photon will pass through it, and all the low energy photon will be stopped, or the scattered radiation is stopped. So because the scattered radiation is stopped, it will lead to decrease in the patient exposure to the radiation. So this is all about the collimation, E-speed film, radiation caries and osteoradionecrosis. Thank you.